Hello and welcome to this webinar, Who's Hiring Now? My name is Fatma Tufekciyev and I'm an employment specialist with Next Steps Employment Center, Riverdale. It is June 24th, 2020, and this is an update of a webinar I recorded in early April that was titled, Who's Hiring While We're Physical Distancing? So every employer mentioned here and all the job postings I reference are accurate as of today, June 24th. We're going to go over a brief update of COVID-19 physical distancing and as we're preparing to enter phase 2 in the City of Toronto and Peel region, a quick labor market update, a breakdown of industries that are currently hiring and the types of positions that are available, where to look for jobs and how to apply. The importance of this webinar, I know that in the news we hear a lot about the negative, about the high unemployment rate, all of the employers who are shutting down, individuals that are losing their jobs. And I'm sure COVID-19 has impacted your life, either with your work or somebody that's close to you. And while I don't want to dismiss that, I do know that we often think while we're going through situations such as this, that there are no jobs out there, no one's hiring. And it's quite the opposite. What I hope you take away from today's webinar are that there are still lots of industries that are not only hiring, but are growing within the framework of this pandemic. So it may be the case that it's your industry that you are in that is hiring. It may be that you'll think of opportunities for how to utilize transferable skills and take your experience and move into a different direction. So I hope this information is useful to you. So with COVID-19, on March 11th, the World Health Organization assessed it as a pandemic. That feels like a lifetime ago. And in the past few months, we've gone through a lot. In the beginning, with the declaration of emergency orders, it was only essential services that were allowed to continue operation, which included hospitals, healthcare settings, and grocery stores, and other businesses that were deemed essential. In the past month, we've seen other areas start to open up with garden centers, childcare facilities, and as of today, June 24th, we are now entering stage 2 or phase 2, it's been referred to as both, by the City of Toronto and Peel region, which includes the opening of barbershop salons, malls, recreation facilities, restaurant patios, and film and television production activities. So hopefully, as we continue moving forward and everyone continues to practice physical distancing and limiting the number of individuals they come in contact with, we'll see more and more businesses allowed to resume, which will positively impact the labor market and employers hiring. So here, for a bit of labor market information, this infographic was taken from workforceinnovation.ca, and it's looking at the total number of job postings in Toronto from the time period of February 1st to June 12th of 2020. As you can see, in the beginning of February, we were a little over 4,000 as the total number of job postings that were advertised on the internet. And there was a bit of a dip in late February, but as you can see, when the pandemic began in early mid-March, we were still above the 4,000 mark. And then it quickly went down in April as everything was closed and as we were going through the worst of our COVID numbers. And now it's slowly, but positively moving up in the right direction. The next infographic is also taken from workforceinnovation.ca. And here we can see the total job postings in Toronto in 3-week trend period. So with May 23rd to May 29th is blue, May 30th to June 5th is orange, and the gray represents June 6th to June 12th. Overall, the job postings in this time period remain steady as we're moving into phase 2. But as Toronto and Peel region are reopening more and more areas, industries, we can expect to see an increase in all areas, but especially within retail, transportation, and hospitality. And other things that are noteworthy here is that in general, within Toronto, the areas where there's the most number of jobs available are the finance industry, retail, trade, and healthcare and social assistance. And the healthcare and social assistance is actually growing. Even now, June 6th to 12th, there's more postings than in the previous 2 weeks. So what I hope you take away from this information is just that, we have experienced a recession, we have experienced a lot of job loss, but as the number of cases with COVID continue to go down and we're allowed to reopen more and more services, we will see an increase in postings and an increase in different employers hiring. So who's hiring? Let's start with the number one, healthcare. I'm sure this is no surprise to anyone, but with the huge strain on our healthcare system with the coronavirus, there has been a huge demand for employers hiring in this area, and this has continued to increase over the past few months. This includes all of the major hospitals, so University Health Network, which includes the 5 hospitals of Toronto General, Toronto Western, Princess Margaret, Toronto Rehab, and the Michener Institute. The William Osler Health System, which is a hospital network in Etobicoke and Brampton, and the Scarborough Health Network. It also includes senior living homes, addiction and mental health live-in residences, such as Homewood Health, remote health services, such as Babylon Health, and Life Labs, Canadian Blood Services, and pharmacies, including Loblaw Company and MediSystem Pharmacy. So these are the types of employers within healthcare that are hiring. And on the next slide, I'll show you some of the postings, the example job titles. So there are lots. These are just some of the ones I found job postings for today when I was looking at the various company websites. On the left column, you'll see the more technical occupations, occupations where you will require some sort of designation, certification, educational requirements. And this will include PSWs, nurses, doctors, pharmacists, psychologists. And on the right-hand side, these are occupations that have different requirements. And so again, thinking about that transferable skill piece, perhaps you are doing payroll or you have experience in housekeeping or as a cook or receptionist in a different area and in a different industry, and now you can take those skills and potentially apply them here. So there are quite a few postings related to finance within healthcare, definitely financial planning, financial advisor, payroll positions. So if that's an area of your background, healthcare would be a good place to look into. Next up is the food industry. Again, this has continued to increase over the last few months, but with when COVID-19 began and we were all stuck in our homes under strict orders not to leave, and now even as things are opening up more and more individuals are making all their meals at home, and there's been a really huge increased demand for grocery stores to keep their stocks, their shelves full. So all types of grocery stores are hiring, the larger chains, which I've listed here. The smaller grocery stores, they're more independent, such as Fresh City Farms, Big Carrot, Sweet Potato. They're all hiring multiple different positions. These include full-time, part-time, during the day, different shifts that are available. Some were overnight positions. So a lot of flexibility there. Very different types of roles, including grocery clerk, cashier, produce, deli associate, cake decorator. There are some supervisor or team leader roles. And a lot of these postings didn't require previous experience, or it was an asset but not a requirement. So if you're somebody who is new to the labor market or who just doesn't have a lot of work experience, this could be a really good area to look into to get started. Next is call centers. With an increase in people accessing services online, there's more demand for call centers and virtual customer service reps to assist individuals. So there's lots of shifts available. Some of these include working from home. So if that's something that's important to you when you're searching for jobs, you can make sure you use that search filter. Often multiple languages are an asset. Definitely if you speak French, this would be really useful for you. But other positions requested Mandarin, Cantonese, and some said any second language would be an asset. Some examples of employers who are hiring with call centers include banks such as TD Bank, HSBC, Philips, Morneau Shepell, Laurentian Bank, Teleperformance, St. Michael's Hospital is hiring call center, or I think they called it customer service phone line, Rogers Communications, Desjardins. And next up, and under number 4 is retail sales customer service. So this was an area that was not included on my list back in April, but now that we are entering phase 2 and more businesses are reopening, there's an increase in positions within this industry. For example, LCBO alone is hiring over 500 positions across Ontario for customer service roles. So some employers that are hiring customer service include Active Green and Ross Tire and Automotive Center, Scotiabank, and Allstate Insurance. So you can see different types of employers there. And some employers hiring retail include Joe Fresh, The Brick, Winners, Sunglass Hut, Roots, Pet Value. So, and again, with some of these retail post positions, they're part-time, full-time, different shifts available, and some asked for customer service experience and other positions I did not. So another good opportunity to look into if you're thinking about starting off a new career or if you have minimal work experience. Number 5 is information technology. As more and more employers are moving their services online, there's an increase in demand for IT professionals to assist in this transition. There's a lot more startups who are hiring different IT roles, definitely a lot of banks who are hiring in this area to help with their mobile apps or to help with their support, tech support for their staff who are all working from home. So lots and lots of opportunities within IT. And if you are in this industry, I also recommend just taking a look at Twitter. When I was searching social media platforms for job postings on Twitter, there were a ton of individuals talking about their companies who are hiring or hiring managers tweeting about different postings. So that's an area I would recommend looking into. So some examples of employers who are hiring include digital health companies such as Blue Dot, Shopify. They're always hiring and growing, and they seem to have a really great workplace culture. SAP, cybersecurity companies. I mentioned banks already, and Wattpad. Some sample job titles within IT. These were the most common types of positions I saw. So you can see, software developer, tech consultant, senior tech systems and analyst, data engineer, software engineer. And that bottom row there, content marketer, business development, and social media marketing. Again, this could be a great area to think about transferable skills. So perhaps you've worked in business development or in marketing or in social media in a different type of industry. This could be an opportunity to apply those skills and that experience in a new area. Number 6 is the financial industry. So as you may have noticed on that previous chart, The financial industry is the highest number of postings compared to any of the other industries within Toronto. And now, with an increase in demand for individuals going online for their banking needs or just making changes either to their savings, their investments, their loans, line of credit, there's more of a demand on the financial industry for services. So as a result, many banks are hiring for a variety of positions. So when I looked at especially the top 5 banks, these were the most common job titles that came up. A lot of mortgage specialists, mortgage advisor, service representatives, banking advisors, fraud strategist, insurance advisor, professional lending, and advice. So a lot of these positions do require specific educational requirements and or previous experience, but good to take a look into that. And some of the employers who are hiring include BMO, Scotiabank, RBC, TD, CIBC, the National Bank of Canada, but also Gatestone & Co. and PepsiCo. They were both hiring financial advisor positions. Number 7 is security and cleaning. These are two areas that have also seen an increase in the past few months since COVID has changed our world. With cleaning, it's deemed an essential service and very, very important for keeping all of us safe. So thank you to anyone who's working out there as a cleaner. There's lots of positions, both as a light duty, heavy duty cleaning, and this includes healthcare settings. So lots of hospitals are hiring for cleaning positions, long-term care facilities, condo buildings, and cleaning service companies that outsource to different employers. There's also a demand for security work. This is partially because there's an increase in staff needed to accommodate for more sick leaves. There's also security that's hired outside of businesses to ensure that people are waiting outside the store, monitor less crowding. For example, some grocery stores have individuals stay outside to count the number of people coming into the store. And also for healthcare centers that are doing screening. So for example, St. Michael's Hospital is hiring security to assist with screening people coming into the building. Example of employers hiring include First Services Residential, City of Toronto is hiring both cleaning and security roles, Paragon Security, the Toronto Catholic District School Board, CBS Group, North York General Hospital, TBM Group, Environmental Response Team, Mary Maid, Ryerson University, and Yorkdale Mall. And number 8 is logistics. This is another area that's growing with more individuals practicing physical distancing and working from home. There's been a huge increase in demand for home delivery for a wide variety of products. And for all those deliveries, whether it's food and groceries or products from different businesses, that requires a whole infrastructure within logistics to get those products to your home. So on the left-hand side are some examples of companies that are hiring right now within logistics. And on the right-hand side are some available job postings, job titles that are available. So Amazon, DoorDash, and Uber Eats, any food delivery company, Stort's Toys, Canada Goose, Bento Sushi. These are some examples of employers I saw that were hiring and posting job postings. Rogers Communications, again, St. Michael's Hospital, and Stage Right Home Furnishings. And the job titles included anything warehouse related, so warehouse associate, packaging, forklift operator, warehouse supervisor. There were a lot of positions for drivers, receptionist, administrative assistant, operations manager, logistics coordinator, logistics specialist, logistics assistant. So if you're somebody who has an administrative background or you're somebody who's very organized and likes doing that type of work, that could be a good area to look into, because there's a lot of postings within that, within logistics for administrative type roles as well. And the last one we're going to look at is nonprofit. Within nonprofit, um, the homelessness situation in Toronto was expanding once coronavirus hit. And in order to respond to that increase in demand and also to accommodate for physical distancing and other COVID-19 precautions, there are more shelters opening up within the GTA. So there's a lot of job opportunities within the shelters. So for example, the Toronto Shelter Network is hiring several relief workers. Sistering, which is a women's shelter, is hiring a community support worker. And Homes First was hiring a shelter worker. Those are some examples. Also, any nonprofit that works with mental health services is seeing an increase in demand. So some examples include the MHA, the Canadian Mental Health Association. They're hiring peer support specialists. Fred Victor is hiring a mental health and addictions case manager. And CAMH was hiring multiple roles. There were over 45 job postings that have been posted since June 1st. And those for all types of roles, everything from research associate to nurse to counselor. And City of Toronto is hiring multiple positions. It also varies in type of roles, everything from office supervisor, which will currently be working from home, but I'm assuming it eventually would be working in an office setting, engineer, payroll, cleaner, 311 call center representative, security guard, automotive mechanic, and solid waste collection operator. So if you're interested in any of the City of Toronto postings, the best thing to do would be to go directly to the City of Toronto website and search for jobs on the website. So that takes us to where to look and how to apply. The postings, every employer I mentioned and job title I mentioned in this webinar were all things I found within the last 24 hours, either by searching LinkedIn, Twitter, Indeed, Charity Village, and other sites that are on this screen right now. So if you are interested in any of the employers I mentioned, one thing I always like to do is once I see a posting on a website such as Indeed, I always try to look at the company website as well, because sometimes you'll see there are multiple other positions they're also hiring for. So my strongest recommendation would be to just Google the company name plus the word careers or the word jobs and see what comes up. Other places that I like to go to, Glassdoor, LinkedIn is a really great way to not only search for opportunities, but also to search if you have any networking connections working at those companies. Careerbuilder.ca, Charity Village is a great one for nonprofit jobs. Indeed, Monster, and Workopolis. So there are many other places to look as well. But like I said, my goal and my intention with this webinar is to give you some ideas of what types of jobs are out there, what types of employers are looking, and to let you know there are still lots of jobs out there, so don't lose hope. I hope you found this helpful and informative. If you have any questions or comments about the workshop, you're welcome to email me. My email address is on the screen. I encourage you to visit our website, nextsteps.ca, or any of our social media accounts. Please follow them for updates on other recorded webinars, live workshops, and guest speakers. And if you have questions about how to apply for these jobs, how to change around your resume or update your cover letter, I welcome you to contact the closest Next Steps Employment Center office to you by phone or email. We have 7 locations within Mississauga, Toronto, North York, Scarborough, Vaughan, and we would be happy to help you. So good luck with your job search and stay safe.